Hello and welcome to the CDO Magazine interview series. I am Maria Espona with ArgIQ, and we are partnering with CDO Magazine, MIT, CDOIQ, and the International Society of Chief Data Officers in a series of interviews. Today, I have the pleasure of talking with Alejandro Correa, Chief Artificial Intelligence at Rappi Colombia. Welcome, Alejandro.
Hi, Maria. Thank you for inviting me.
How do you see the AI in the governmental sphere, not in the private one? Do you see that it's been growing or?
So let me tell you a story very quickly. So last year, so I was part of the AI expert council that the Colombian government created last year, and it was quite interesting to arrive to a conference actually organized by the government with most of the government agencies showing what they are doing with AI. First of all, it has been the single day that I have heard the word AI the most. Like in every sentence, someone will say artificial intelligence. I was surprised by that. Not even in my previous academic conference, I would have seen it in that way. But on the second hand, I was surprised by the amount of usage of AI. I'm talking about something that really touched me was one of the agencies that is in charge of helping kids to find them foster families. They are using AI towards making sure that they are doing a right match between the children and the potential foster family. I was like, it was like amazing.
That's
like
impressive.
that, the kind of the kind of, I don't know the word, probably AI for good that you are expecting to see. And definitely surprised me the amount of initiatives. Probably still in the phase to have a lot of initiatives, but definitely, again, more good news. I hope you see it that way.
Yeah, I of course, and seeing this tool or this technology applied to areas that are not the traditional ones, it's fantastic, because maybe you think always in dealing with numbers or assisting to fight the crime or things like that. But in this case, it's something completely different and requires much more effort, considering that we are talking about not quantitative variables, but qualitative. And to match that, it's wow. It's
and the impact, right? Because
absolutely.
What I heard was again, I'm probably not sure about the right word, but let's say that something close to reducing mismatch between again children and potential potential foster parents. That's like whatever number you are able to reduce, that is going to make a real impact into those children's lives. So it was amazing. I had been quite eager to show to talk more about this, and there are even more initiatives with a lot of different having impact in a lot of different places. But getting back to my point, governments are realizing that these have an impact, not only as making the industry more growing more, but actually have an impact on the government itself and in the government agencies itself. And it's amazing, and I'm sure we're going to see a lot of those interesting use cases in the future all around the region.
That's super. That at the end they are trying to improve the society and the life of the population, the quality of life. So it's AI for good, as you said before.
Exactly.
I like that idea, that concept. So I have another question to you. That is that when it comes to implement artificial intelligence in some specific situations to improve processes, how do you assist the companies? What do you do your daily job?
Right. So it's quite a long answer to actually, Maria. And the reality is that when companies, when tech startups started hiring, let's say, AI talent, you start a big question. Like, you are trying to sell more, you are trying to optimize your operations, and just by asking that question, it already became very hard to realize, okay, so how do I start with AI? And something quite difficult, I'll say, is that most of these projects fail mostly because the current organization is probably not prepared and probably doesn't have enough knowledge on how to integrate AI. And it's a very, very hard question. I have been reading everything that is to read about it, and there isn't like a concrete answer on what to do. I'll say that something that we have been realizing is that you have, even before you deploy the first machine learning model, there is a need to start training all the executives in the companies into, okay, what is AI? What is a simple question, what is the difference of between business intelligence and AI? And you are going to see that a lot of executives in the region don't yet know what is the answer. And so you have to start there. But the issue, though, is that as a scientist, as a professional in machine learning, you are not trained in that. You are training to actually go and solve the algorithm, and to go and deal with data. And the reality is that it is probably more important, it is definitely more important at the beginning to start dealing with those. How do I train the company into understanding what is AI? How do I allow the company to make sure that they are going to take usage of these technologies, and how to get value out of this? A lot of there is that misconception that AI is like a traditional, let's say, tech improvement that is sort of plug and play. The reality is very far away from that. And the only way to actually take the value out of AI is to realizing that you have to spend a lot of time just thinking about how to strategize, how to get AI into my business. And this is not just another piece of technology that I can connect and is going to give me value. That is very far away from the truth.
Yeah, I totally agree. We were discussing exactly the same this morning with Ivana and the others. And what we arrived at, and also in another panel I was today, it's that you need to work to this new concept, or at least I discovered this year on data literacy, that you need to educate the whole company, because maybe they are asking you to implement AI solution because it's the newest thing in the market, but they have no clue of what they are talking about or how they can use it. And I believe that this affects the success of the projects that they are trying to implement.
By all means, and I think that a big, probably, let's say, issue is that how these CEOs are learning about AI. Most of the cases is because a solution provider is trying to sell them another AI tool or something else. So they are just, so the seller is just focusing about selling the infrastructure, selling the software, not worrying at all about the data and AI literacy, as you're mentioning. So I think that's an issue. We are changing that, fortunately, but there is still some way to go to allow the industry to learn more about AI, not just by the solutions providers, but actually from people that have already done it, people from the tech startups that have been doing a lot of cool things in the last years, and definitely even from the government. That's quite surprising, but in a good way.
Thank you so much, Alejandro. I really enjoyed this interview, this time we spent together. So thank you for joining me today, and please visit cdomagazine.tech for additional interviews. Thank you, Alejandro.
Thank you, Maria.